Raspberry Pi, right? So before enter into this session, just I give an introduction about Raspberry Pi. So Raspberry Pi is a very cheap computer, runs Linux. It provides a set of GPIO pins. Using these pins, we can interface electronic components, right? So this pins can be configured to read and write data from the electronic devices. So using these pins only, we are going to explore the Internet of Things. So the operating system which is used in Raspberry Pi is Raspbian. The official name of the Raspbian operating system is called Raspberry Pi OS. So this is an operating system which is run on Linux kernel. It is based on Linux kernel. The processor which is used in Raspberry Pi is Cortex processor. So this is a Raspberry Pi board, development board. It is like your motherboard. What are the components you found in motherboard? So all the components you can found here. So it has a processor, it has a RAM, it has a USB port. You can connect keyboard, mouse, or other devices. So you can connect VGA monitor using this HDMI port. You can give power to the via this USB-C power connector. So this is a GPIO pin. So we are connect to all the electronic components via this port, this pin only. So that is called GPIO pin. So this pin can be configured for read operation or write operation. So this is the overall architecture of the application we are going to develop in this session. So temperature and humidity monitoring system. So here the three major components are involved. So one is Raspberry Pi and temperature and humidity sensor. So another one is ThinkSpeak Cloud. So another one is your Android application, right? So using Android application, we are going to monitor the current temperature and humidity, right? So the function of each component is the Raspberry Pi read temperature and humidity from DHT11 sensor. So we are going to write a Python program which is going to run in this Raspberry Pi. So that will read temperature and humidity using this sensor. Then it send the data to the ThinkSpeak cloud. So the continuously this data is uploaded in the ThinkSpeak cloud. So another, we are going to write an Android application. That application will read data from the ThinkSpeak cloud and displayed in the screen. So this is a overall view of temperature and humidity monitoring system that we are going to develop now. So Raspberry Pi supports several programming languages. So in our implementation, we are going to use Python. It also supports C, C++, and Java also. So next is circuit connection. So your DHT11 comes with 3 pins. So pin number 1 is for power supply VCC, and pin number 3 is for ground. The pin number 3 is a serial out, right? So from this pin only, we are going to read the data from the sensor. This pin number 2 is connected to our Raspberry Pi board in any one of the GPIO pin. So in our exam, in our project, we are using GPIO pin number 4 to interface this pin number 2 in your Raspberry Pi board. So that connection is displayed here. So the pin number 1 is connected to plus 5 volt. Pin number 3 is connected to the ground pin. Then the pin number 2 is connected to GPIO pin number 4. So you can connect any one of the GPIO pins. So in program, you have to specify which pin number you are connecting this pin number to. That you have to specify it in the Python program. Sir, my voice is audible or it is clear, sir? Should I continue?
Yes, sir. Your voice is audible, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So now we are going to read temperature and humidity from the sensor. So this is a Python program. So before we go into that program, so we have to know the packages, two packages. One is Adafruit underscore DHT is a Python library. So it is used to read data from the DHT11 sensor. So another one is pip package. It is used to install any Python package, right? So before running this program, you have to install Adafruit underscore DHT11 package, right? So this is not preloaded in your Python library. So you have to install this, right? So to install this, you have to run this command sudo pip pip install Adafruit underscore DHT11. You see this command in the Raspberry Pi console mode, right? So the pip is a package manager which will search this package from Python repository and it will install in your computer. So without installing this, your program will not work. So first you have to import this package Adafruit underscore DHT11. Then you have to specify the sensor and which pin number you are going to use in this program. So we are connected the pin number 2 in GPIO pin number 4. So I assign pin number equal to 4. So the sensor we are going to use in this program is DHT11. So I specify DHT11 here, right? So now I'm going to read temperature and humidity from the sensor. So for that, Adafruit library, they provide one method called read underscore retry. Read underscore retry is a method. So for this method, you have to specify two parameters. One is sensor, which sensor you are going to read, from which pin we are going to read. So we have to specify these two. It will return humidity and temperature, right? Then after get the values, I just print the values in the terminal, right? Then I have to wait for another 15 seconds to read the next value, right? I enclose this code within the while loop. So this program continuously read the temperature and the humidity from the sensor. So this is phase one. So in this program, we just read humidity and temperature only, right? Now I connect the Raspberry Pi board and we will test the code, right? So my Raspberry Pi board is connected to my Wi-Fi. Its IP address is 192.168.1.22. So from your remote desktop connection, you run the remote desktop application. Then it will ask for the IP address. You just give the IP address and put connect. So now it has asked for the username and password of Raspberry Pi. By default, username is Pi and password may be Pi. Just put OK. Now this is your Raspberry Pi desktop. Now we go to that option called programming. So the Raspberry Pi operating system comes with a lot of editors, Python editor. Now I'm going to use Tony Python editor. Okay, so I have to specify the sensor, then I have to specify the pin number, and I have to call the method read underscore retry. Then I have to specify sensor and pin number. Then it will, this function will return humidity and temperature. I just print it in the console, right? I'll just run the program. We'll check the value. So now getting the value, humidity is 52 and temperature is 33 degrees Celsius. Now the first part of your implementation is over. So we are communicated with the sensor and we are getting the value, temperature and humidity. The next phase is we have to store this temperature and humidity in the ThingSpeak cloud. That is the second phase, right? Just I will stop this program. Okay, now I close the connection. Okay. The next step is we have to send the data to the ThingSpeak cloud. Now the data is available. The temperature and the humidity is available with us. We are getting the data from the sensor. The Python code will read the data. Now it is available in our variable temperature and the humidity. So we have to send this data to the ThingSpeak cloud. So for that, first we have to create a account in ThingSpeak cloud. Then we have to create channel. So in that channel, we have to create number of fields. So here field refers how many data you are going to store it that in that cloud, right? So here we in our project, we are going to store only two values, that is temperature and humidity. So for that, we have to create two fields and we have to assign name for the fields also. So after that, the important thing is, so once you create the field channel, then ThingSpeak cloud will provide API keys. This is very important thing. So it provides two API keys. One is read API, another one is write API. So these API keys are going to use in our Python program to send the data to the cloud. And read API is used in Android program to read data from the cloud, right? So I will demonstrate how to create account in the ThingSpeak. ThingSpeak.com. The new user, if you have no account, so create now one. You just press here. It will ask for your email ID and location, your first name and last name, then press continue. Then it asks for password. You just give a password. Already I have two channels. So you have to create a new channel for this application. So the channel name is IoT project. So first field is for temperature. Then tick here. The second field is for humidity. Suppose you are having more than two sensors, you want to store the data, you can just add columns, fields. So we have only two, and create save channel. Now the IoT underscore project channel is created. This is your channel ID, right? This is your channel ID. So here you can find API key, right? So just press here. You have to note down these values. Your write API value and read API value. Right? You copy it, paste it in the notepad. So later we have to use it, right? So another thing is, this is an API request, right? So copy it in the notepad, then I can understand. Okay, this is an URL used to store data in the cloud. It is provided by the ThingSpeak Cloud. The api.thingspeak.com/update:API_key. This is the API value. So ampersand field 1 equal to 0, right? Then you need to add two more columns, yeah, isn't it? So you go to field to some value, some 55, I can put some 30. So this is a URL you have to construct in your Python program to store data in the ThingSpeak Cloud, right? So this one is read API URL. It is used to read value from the channel. So when you issue this command in the browser, it will return a JSON object. It will return a JSON object. So now no value is stored in this cloud, so it won't display any feeds. When you store the data in the cloud, the data is available under the tag feeds, right? We have to parse the data from these feeds only. Sir. Sorry, sir. So I already created channel for my application, that is temperature underscore humidity monitor. I test the code. So once you uploaded the temperature and humidity, you can get the graph like this. In our program, I'm going to use this API, this write API and read API. Okay. So now the data is available with us, that is temperature and humidity. Now we have to send the data to the cloud, right? So for that, you need the URL. That URL you can get from the ThinkSpeak cloud. So this is a URL, right? So in that URL, you are going to pass value for V1 and V2, right? This is a standard format. So depends upon your application. So the only the thing the is a varying is the API key and this value, right? So you have to put your API key here, and you have to put your value 1 and value 2. So in our case, value 1 is temperature, value 2 is humidity, right? So in Python, you are having library called URL lib. So that is a library that is used to send a HTTP request to any web server or any cloud. So URL lib package that provide one method called URL open. So when you call URL open and you pass this HTTP request URL as a parameter, that will send the data to the cloud. So now we are incorporate this code in the existing code. Previously, we execute the program up to this level. So read underscore retry, that will read temperature and humidity and will print the data in the screen. That's all. Up to this, we already tested the code. Now we have to send these two data to the ThinkSpeak cloud. So for that, we have to add some more code in our existing program. So you have to add the API value. My API, right API is this one. You are getting this value from the ThinkSpeak cloud. Then the URL is this one. Now you have to reconstruct this URL with these two values, right? Field 1 equal to temperature, then field 2 is equal to humidity, right? Now you call the URL using the method URL open. This will post the URL to the ThinkSpeak cloud. Now the data is stored in the cloud, right? So let's test the code whether the data is stored in the cloud or not. Again, I will connect my Raspberry Pi. Username is Pi. Password is Pi. Tony Python IDE. So I have to open the program. So we are adding some more statements in this program to send the data to the cloud. So that is API. After getting humidity and temperature, we construct the URL and we call the URL open method that will send the HTTP request to the ThinkSpeak cloud. Right. So once the statement is executed, the data is stored in that cloud. Okay. Just will run the code. 52 humidity, temperature is 33. Now it is stored in the cloud. We'll check whether this data is stored in the cloud or not. Open my channel, temperature underscore humidity. Now this value is updated. Temperature is 33. The date is 25. Time is 2:41. Just before it is updated. Humidity also. 242. This is the latest value updated here. So now the data is available in our cloud, right? So now we'll check whether how to get the value from the ThingSpeak cloud, and we will how to parse the data in our Android application. So for that, we check the code, that the URL, right? When I call this URL, this is the feeds. This is the last value. Temperature is 33. Humidity is 50, right? So we have to write an Android program to parse these values and display it in the screen. So now the data is available in the cloud. We are going to develop on an Android application. So in that you have to specify the channel number, and you have to specify the API key value, and send a request to the cloud. It will get the value from the cloud and displayed here like this, right? Now we'll see how to develop this Android application. So before going to in the code, so this is the URL we are going to use in your program, Android program, to get the value from the cloud. So once you execute this line in the browser itself, it will display this JSON object. Normally it is called JSON object, right? So in Android program, you are going to open this URL. That is, you are going to send a HTTP request. Then the HTTP request, the response will be JSON object, right? You have to parse this JSON object into readable format, right? So here, up to this, this is a header of JSON object. From this only data are available, right? Feeds are data, right? So when this data is created, what is the entry ID? What is the value for field 1? What is the value for field 2? So this is one record. We consider this is one record. So this is another record, second record. So like this file is keep on increasing, right? How many values you are stored in the cloud, it is displayed here. So our aim is to display the last value, right? So you parse these feeds and move on to the last value and display this field one.
This is a payday. I will go home. When
So you have to move on to this last value and get display this field 1 and field 2. Here field 1 is temperature, field 2 is humidity. Suppose you are having 4 or 5 fields, so it will display like this: field 1 value, field 2 value, field 3, field 4, field 5, like field 6, like that, right? So in our Android program, so the important work is we have to parse this value. That's all. We have to contact the send a request to ThingSpeak Cloud and get this JSON object and parse this value and display the last one, right? So this is your Android application program. You need two text views and to edit text. So edit text is used to get the value. So we have to get channel ID and read API. So you are using the text boxes, two text boxes, that is edit text. Then you have to get the value ed1 dot get text, then ed2 dot get text. So first one is API value, then second one is channel. So you have to add this API value and the channel value in this URL. You have to concatenate these values in the URL. So this is a standard format. So you have to specify channel and you have to specify API key value here, right? Once you construct that URL, you pass this URL to the asynchronous task. So simply you can call the HTTP request, but here I am using asynchronous task because your speed of your Android mobile is slower than your cloud server. So the synchronization may not be occurred. That's why we are using asynchronous task, right? So once you create an asynchronous task and you call the method execute URL, when you call the execute URL, so the internally call the on pre-execute method. So on pre-execute method will prepare a request for contact the browser, sorry, ThingSpeak Cloud. So during the time, we will display some progress bar. That's why I'm writing progress here bar here. So once connection is established with the cloud, it will call the do in background method. So do in background method will actually send a HTTP request to your cloud. So that is done by URL class, URL equal to new URL. The string.0, the string contain the URL we pass to this function, this URL, right? Once the HTTP connection is established, and we will form a input stream, and from the input stream we create buffer reader. Then you can read the data from the stream, right? So read the data and you append in the string builder string. So finally convert into string. So the data received as a string variable hold this object, right? You establish a connection with the ThingSpeak Cloud and will read the data. So once you read the data line by line, so finally you got the entire data, this data in the variable data received. After reading the data, internally call the on post execute method, right? So in the post execute method, we will pass that JSON object to process ThingSpeak's JSON method, right? So this is our own method. Here only we are doing that parsing process, right? So the entire JSON object is converted to JSON object. The string is converted to JSON object. Then that JSON object is converted to JSON array, because we want data from feeds only. So before feed, the data contains only the header of the JSON object. So we want the data from feeds. So from the JSON object, we have to convert the JSON object into JSON arrays. So each array contain one record, right? So from the JSON array, we have to convert JSON array object. In that JSON array object, we have to pass the parameter. You are getting a value for created at field 1, field 2, right? Then you are getting date and time, temperature, and humidity. So you want to display the date and time, you can display here, but I display only temperature and humidity in the script. So that's why I'm displaying temperature and humidity. So this loop is executed until reach the end of the record or end of the array. So finally the last array is displayed here, right? So now I show the real implementation of this code. So this is our design. So this is on the text box. This is another text box. So in this text box, I specify the channel value here and the API value here. So this is a text box only. So I will share this API, sorry, APK. You can install in your mobile also. When you run this application in your mobile, you are getting temperature and humidity from my channel, right? Suppose you develop you are creating ThinkSpeak Cloud account, your own account, and you're developing an application and load it in the ThinkSpeak Cloud. You want to test your application, you just change the channel value and the API value, and just click here. It will display from your ThinkSpeak Cloud, right? So this is a text box only. So anybody want this APK, I will share it with you. Just change your channel value here, your API value here, and you can run the program. It will display value from your ThinkSpeak Cloud account, right? Just I will run the program. So there is a code, the code which is already explained To understand this Android application development, you must know a little bit of Java coding, then only you can follow this code, I think. So wait a moment, it will display. So temperature is 34 degrees Celsius and the humidity is 50. You want the latest value, you just press the update button. It will then send a request to the ThinkSpeak cloud and display the latest value. So that's all about this session. Once more I explain the overall view. So we are writing one program in Python, which is running in Raspberry Pi. We are writing Android program for mobile. The Python code read temperature and humidity and uploaded in the cloud. The Android code read the JSON object from ThinkSpeak cloud and parse it and display it in the screen. Right. So this is a real implementation. So you can test the code also. I will share the code and I will share this Android application APK. You can install in your mobile and you can test it. I think that's all about this session. If any questions you can ask, I will answer.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
I request the participants to raise queries. You can use the chat box. You shall write the queries through chat box also. Sir, is there any possibilities to implement this kind of softwares for polytechnic students in syllabus? What is your suggestion about this, sir?
Okay, we already in computer engineering, Android application development course is there, no, sir?
Yes, sir.
But IoT is not there. In the
Yes,
revised
yes.
syllabus, now we are revising the syllabus. We are going to add IoT as one of the subject now for the new syllabus.
Okay, sir.
We are in the syllabus team for committee. We are going to implement it.
Okay, sir.
Myself and Mr. Ravindran.
Thank you, sir. Any other queries from participant side, please unmute yourself and then you can raise queries.
Feel free to ask questions. I will ready to answer your queries.
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, in this Raspberry Pi,
Okay.
in this Raspberry Pi, how is there any possibility for Python language coding, sir?
No, now I write the code in Python only, no, sir.
சார் அது இல்லைங்க சார், நான் இந்த ராஸ்பெரி பை கோடிங் பண்றதுக்குன்னே தனியாக ஏதாவது ட்ரைனிங் மாதிரி ஏதாவது இருக்குமாங்க சார்?
அது மாதிரி ஒன்றும் உங்களுக்கு தேவையில்லை சார். இப்போ ஒன்ஸ் யூ நோ பைத்தான்,
Okay,
you can use the Python code to interconnect the electronic components. சார் இப்போ
Okay, sir.
ராஸ்பெரி பை அப்படிங்கிற அந்த கிட் வந்து எதுக்குன்னா மெயின்லி இட் இஸ் டிசைன்டு ஃபார் இன்டர்கனெக்டிங் டிவைசஸ். ஓகேங்களா?
Okay, sir.
இப்போ வந்து யூ டேக் ஒன் அப்ளிகேஷன், வாட் ஆர் த எலக்ட்ரானிக் காம்பனன்ட்ஸ் யூ ஆர் கோயிங் டு யூஸ்,
ஓகேங்க சார்.
அதை ஐடென்டிஃபை பண்ணிக்கோங்க. தென்
சரிங்க சார்.
இதுல வந்து இது இம்பார்ட்டன்ட் விஷயம் என்ன அப்படின்னா, அந்த பின்ஸ் இருக்கு இல்லையா, GPIO பின்ஸ்,
ஆமாங்க சார்.
அந்த பின்ல நீங்க உங்களோட காம்பனண்ட்டை நீங்க கனெக்ட் பண்ண போறீங்க, அவ்வளவுதான். தென்
ஓகேங்க சார்.
அந்த ஒன்னு ரெண்டு வேலை தான் செய்ய போறோம். we are going to do only two works. One,
Okay.
you are sending value to the component, or you are going to
Okay.
read the value from the component. அவ்வளவுதான்.
Okay.
Based on the value, you are doing some other operations.
ஓகேங்க சார்.
The for ஒவ்வொரு எலக்ட்ரானிக் காம்பவுண்டுக்கும் there will be a library. Okay.
ஓகேங்க சார்.
அதனால நீங்க அந்த லைப்ரரியை யூஸ் பண்ணி you can do whatever you want.
ஓகேங்க சார்.
The internet, there are a lot of tutorials are available. Suppose you want to interface temperature and humidity sensor, you type temperature humidity sensor interface with Raspberry Pi, that will give
Okay,
a
sir.
code. That's all.
ஓகேங்க சார். தேங்க்யூங்க சார்.
Okay. So computer peoples, they can implement this Android application, but electronics peoples, it is somewhat difficult, I think, because they want to know Java and Android SDK. So once people C or C++ or Python, you can implement the one side of this implementation. Other side of the implementation, you must know Java programming. Otherwise, some APKs are available in free download. You can use and you can test your application also. You can test your code.
சார் ஒன் மோர் டவுட் சார். சார் இந்த ராஸ்பெரி பை போர்டு யூஸ் பண்ணும்போது நெட் கனெக்ஷன் வேணுமாங்க சார், இல்ல எப்படிங்க சார்?
தேவையில்லை சார். அது இண்டிபெண்டன்ட் டிவைஸ் தான். யூ வாண்ட் டு ஸ்டோர் த டேட்டா டு த கிளவுட் அப்படின்னா மட்டும்தான் உங்களுக்கு வந்து நீங்க வந்து உங்களுக்கு இன்டர்நெட் வேணும். அதர்வைஸ் இட் இஸ் இண்டிபெண்டன்ட் டிவைஸ்.
மத்தபடி இப்போ ஒரு கேமரா வச்சு நான் ஆபரேட் பண்றேன், அதுல ஒரு சின்ன வேலை பண்றேன் அப்படின்னா அதுக்கு இன்டர்நெட் கனெக்ஷன் தேவையில்லை இல்லைங்களா சார்?
தேவையில்லை சார், தேவையில்லை.
Okay.
You are going to get the image and video and you can display it in the screen itself. இல்லையா? அப்படிங்கிறப்போ there is no need for internet connection.
சரிங்க சார். ஓகேங்க சார். அதுல வைஃபை சிம்பிள் காட்டிட்டே இருந்துச்சுலங்க சார், அதனால தான் சார் கேட்டேன் அந்த ஸ்கிரீன்ல.
இல்ல இப்போ நான் என்ன பண்ணிருக்கேன்னா, நான் இப்போ வந்து I am giving demonstration using my laptop. நான் ராஸ்பெரி கிட்டோட நான் டைரக்டா கனெக்ட் பண்ணிக்கல. ஓகேங்களா? இப்போ நான் ராஸ்பெரி பையோட நான் கனெக்ட் பண்ணனா அதுல தனியா கீபோர்ட், அதுல மவுஸ், அதுல நான் கனெக்ட் பண்ணனும். பட் அதுல வந்து இப்போ நான் again இந்த ஸ்கிரீன் ஷேரிங், இப்போ Zoom இன்ஸ்டால் பண்ண முடியாது. சோ அதனால நான் இப்போ என்ன பண்ணிருக்கேன்னா, என்னோட லேப்டாப்ல நான் இந்த ராஸ்பெரி கிட்ட வந்து நான் என்ன பண்ணிருக்கேன், ரிமோட் டெஸ்க்டாப் எடுத்துர்க்கேன்.
சரிங்க சார். ஓகே.
So remote desktop is an option which is available in your Windows Windows. You can take any machine you can take any machine. It may be a Raspberry Pi or it may be another computer. அதை நீங்க உங்க இந்த கம்ப்யூட்டர்ல நீங்க வர்க் பண்ணிக்கலாம். சோ அந்த கான்செப்ட்ல நான் என்ன பண்ணிருக்கேன், ராஸ்பெரி கீழ தான் நான் இங்க எடுத்துர்க்கேன்.
ஓகேங்க சார். Thank you sir.
Yes sir. Any other question?
Sir, excuse me, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, could you please explain that in English, sir? Because some of the participants are from North India. So whatever the things you have discussed now, if that is in English, people may get understood.
Okay. So there is no need for internet connection for working with Raspberry Pi, right? So it is independent unit. So whatever things you want to store the data in the cloud, then only you can connect this Raspberry Pi to internet connection. So for that you have to use your local Wi-Fi connection. You have to configure it. You have to specify the username and password in that SSID and password in Raspberry Pi. Then when you switch on the Raspberry Pi, it will automatically connect to the internet. If you want the data to be stored in that other devices or in the cloud, then only the that internet connection is required for Raspberry Pi. Otherwise, you want to test with your computer or electronic devices and you are displayed it in your own screen, there is no need for internet connection.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
So dear participants, kindly fill your feedback. The feedback link has been posted in the chat box. Please find the feedback link.
No more questions. Shall I close there?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you.
Thank
Sir,
you, sir.
can I get
Sir?
your contact, sir?
So kindly send your contact details, sir, in chat box.
Is it okay, sir?
Yes, sir.
So anybody wants to implement any project, feel free to call me. So suppose you want to guide a project for your students, you can call me at any time. I will help you for implementing student project, or you people are doing any project using Raspberry Pi and with Android. So any type of help you can ask me. I will ready to help you.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, participants. The presentation document has been mailed. At the end of the program, we will share all the documents while the certification is disseminated. Respected participants, kindly fill the feedback. Feedback link has been posted. Please fill your valuable feedback. You can also raise your queries through feedback. Queries shall be forwarded to the session chair, Muthamil Selvam, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. Shall I sign off, sir?
On behalf
Thank you.
of Georgia Polytechnic College and Instrumentation Control Engineering, we render heartfelt gratitude for accepting our invite and being a special guest for this program, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excuse me, sir.
Sir. Yes, sir, please.
Sir, can we leave, sir?
Yeah, yes, sir, sure, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Tomorrow morning, 9:15 a.m., we shall rejoin for the day 4 program. Thank
Okay,
you.
sir. Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.